But usually on this show, we get to talking about our weeks, talking about the media we've consumed, talking about the interest we've been interested in, and just to jump off on what we've talked about already, our Filipino ness. I think we have something that we can discuss all together, boys. A little something called Trese. Have you guys watched that?
No.
No.
Great.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude!
You know what?
Like,
You know what? I
yeah.
Harry Pottered it. I Harry Pottered Trese.
What does that mean?
That means I haven't read anything about it. I haven't read the comics, but I've watched the series.
Oh,
Just like in
okay.
Harry
I use
Potter.
the Harry Potter comics.
Yeah,
The Harry Potter
I haven't
comics.
read the books, but I've read the whole movie series. I mean,
No,
I've watched it.
same thing. I've actually I'm well aware of Trese. Like whenever I see it at Comic Cons and stuff like that, whenever my friends talk about it, I'm like, yo, you do the good. But for some reason, I've never like taken the time to actually sit down, buy a book and read it. So I've never read Trese. So everything going into the Netflix thing for me was fresh.
Oh, okay,
Nice.
nice.
What about you boys? What about you, Migoy? What's your background with the Trese? Because I know Rafi has a background.
Yeah, it's
So
it's
we'll
the
leave him for
same.
last.
I'm not a comic man because I don't want to invest like money into something that might not turn out to be good if it keeps going. Like if I were to read comics, it would have to be like someone else's collection, like hopefully in its completion. Then I would read it. But yeah, I don't really read comics in general, so I'm also going into this blind. All I know is that hey, it's made by the Philippines. Pinoy pride. Let's go.
Dude,
flat
like
pride.
no joke though.
Yeah, dude, the
No
comics are
joke,
flat,
though.
right?
Like absolutely no joke. Like with the Filipino pride thing being a massive joke on the internet and Philippine baiting being a thing, like absolutely no joke. When I saw it pop up on Netflix and I watched the start of it and
What are
the
you
opening
doing,
scene, what is Rafi is writing Trese on his arm. What do you call it?
Sorry,
And
go ahead.
like right when this thing opened up and it opens up with the MRT breaking down
In front
and
of Guadalupe Bridge.
the sense of Filipino
Wild.
pride inside me just welled up. I'm like, yo, that's us. That the MRT breaking down on the Guadalupe Bridge, that's just the Philippines.
That's
They got it.
proof of the flat.
No, dude, I'll counter that.
And I think
That's not
Yeah.
realistic. Because when an MRT breaks
Why?
down and nobody complains, something is wrong.
Oh, dude, yeah, they just kind of walk out and they're like,
Yeah.
no screaming,
Kinda
no like,
reflects-
why?
That kind of reflects the now actually. Like the MRT is just too battered up that if anything,
Tanggap na.
if it
Honestly.
breaks, they just well.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
get
yeah.
the fuck out of here.
That's
No,
that's
yeah.
actually I think Carlos pointed it out like when we talked about it. Our friend Carlos pointed out like that. That's actually the most Filipino thing in that whole entire sequence. It's that the people are just used to it and they
Yeah.
just brush it off because this always happens.
To your
They're so
problems
used
and
to
not
it.
do anything
Yeah.
about it.
So
That's the Filipiner way, right?
Filipiner way. That is
Right,
the
right.
Filipiner way. So, like, both Miguel's and I have no direct background with Trese. We've never read the comics, but I know for a fact that the Raft Man has a
Oh,
bit of
yeah.
a background with the Trese.
He
He's a bit
shook
of a
his hand.
Trese man. He's a bit of a Trese man.
He shook his
I've
hand.
read-
It's like
I
shaking
read
a
a few.
Sinatra's hand.
Yeah.
I've read a few words of Trese. I've read a few words of the book. No, I'm just kidding. Now is the time to reveal.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Super Trese.
Super Trese fan.
Yes, as Rafi
My
reveals
tattoo.
this hand-drawn marker
Yeah.
on his forearm that says Trese 13.
Comic
It's
Master
been there
Chef.
since 2013.
Yeah.
Totally
Nice.
didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Even though the books came out at 14, I think. No, but yeah, I super love Trese. It was one of the main things that inspired me to kind of pursue art, kind of want to make art. One of the very first like immersions or like experiences with the local scene. So yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, dude,
I am
like-
very well.
Like, I actually saw your status on it, and I had no idea that it was one of your inspirations of getting into
yeah.
art. Because now that you mention it, like your love of two-toned like illustration that just uses black and white. I see it now. I'm
Yes.
like, yo, that's a Trese.
Yep. That dude, I've always, yeah, they're 13 tones. No. What's that called? I've it was really striking because like I said this on the post as well of like I was looking for a like I was just looking for comics to read. I was a young nubile man
Mhm.
looking for
Sure.
exploring exploring his preferences in the sea of superhero comics. So I go to like a fully booked in Gateway, and which is a local comic book store, and
Mhm.
I mean a local bookstore. Period. And I was looking at all the graphic novels. We have your DCs, you got your Superman, you got your Green Lanterns, and in the sea of color, I just see one book that's just like black and white, stark black and white, and it was so eye catching in the midst of so many like colorful things. There was just this one book in stark black and white, and that art style made me want to pick up the book because
Huh.
it looks so clean. And that's when I was like, okay, uh, I look at it and I see Murder on Balete Drive. Like, a Filipino made this.
I know where
That's
that is.
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of when I started like seeing it, and even before like a big, uh, yeah, it set me on that path of like learning about the local Filipino comic community.
Sick,
And yeah,
sick. So
now, yeah,
now,
now the anime adaptation after all those years, right?
yeah,
It's
isn't it
real.
kind of incredible? So what have you guys watched already? Are you guys done with the
I'm
series?
finished with it.
Yep,
I was
done.
surprised that it's only 6 episodes. I thought it was
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
24 or 50. I thought they're gonna do the
50.
Gundam route. I thought we're gonna have two
A whole
50
seasons.
year of Trese.
ah,
Dude,
more episodes than the book.
Yep.
dude,
More
It's been
episodes than
done.
books I
I
see.
mean,
Okay.
if
like
Game of Thrones did it, why not?
so Migoy is just on episode 1, so maybe we shouldn't talk mad
Yeah, yeah.
spoilers, but
Oh, okay. All
let's
right.
let's talk like a little bit like around like how we thought of it or like
So
what you guys think.
impressions,
Hmm.
more or less
Yeah,
impressions.
no spoilage lang.
I'm pretty
Okay.
impressed as far as my impressions go.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
can you
I
add
wasn't
something
prepared to
about?
not talk about spoilers.
No, like it's really
Okay.
hard not to talk about the spoilers, but in general, what do you call it? Like what the cheese man himself just said about it being a 50 episode series, I can actually see that happening. Like that's like jokes aside, this show
Mhm.
could totally work as a monster of the week type show that can extend
Yeah,
into infinity, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
I would.
Like I
Mhm.
especially super like the first few episodes where it really takes that formula and runs with it, and
Mhm.
there's something cool happening in the background. There's something like an overarching story, but the formula is monster of the week. And like I actually think this show suffers for being only 6 episodes because
Yeah.
you can
Yeah, I
actually
agree.
feel that they're trying their best to cram as much as they can for the budget they were allocated. So I really think this would work more as a long form series that takes from the monster of the week formula, because if you notice in one of those episodes it wasn't just monster of the week, it was three monsters in one episode.
One
Yeah.
episode, yeah.
Right, that
Mhm.
specific one, that specific episode where she, like, there were three storylines playing out all at the same time, which
Yeah.
was executed well. But I think that
Yeah.
if each monster was given an episode each, they would have been able to
Mm.
explore the mythology a little bit more, explore like, oh, I want to know how Tikbalang society like does,
Mm.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but in general, I super duper love the show. Like the animation could use a little bump up.
Mm.
It's a
Mm.
little bit rough in some frames. Some frames are missing. Some frames are a little bit choppy. Like that opening scene like was just sliding images really,
Yeah.
and sometimes it happens like even at the end. But overall, I think the package was good, and it's kind of like a proof of concept that, yo, you could totally turn this into a weekly show where we could tackle a monster of the week. That's my take.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
am I gonna go
I
next? Or are you
wholeheartedly agree. Go.
I don't know,
Go.
dude,
Hit
dude,
it.
go.
So just going through what Emil said about the animation, I was actually worried. And on episode one, because the first fight scene that they showed is jank.
It's pretty
Like
jank.
I'm not gonna lie, it's jank. Like
Mhm.
that kick. That's
Mm.
that's a weak ass kick.
No
I don't know.
power.
No power. No. It's just it felt and it looked like it's awkwardly animated to make it a full like swoop, and it
Mhm.
kind of oh, are they gonna have a hard
Mm.
time animating the rest of the action scenes? But
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that they pulled it off quite better on the
Yeah.
later episodes, because first episode is an introduction of, I guess, how the art direction would look like as a whole. But they did kind of had more like they do kind of have more production value when it comes to the later episodes. Which I as for well, we can't spoil anything, but my favorite episode is probably three when it comes to
Okay.
Mine too.
Monster of the Week, because like the nature of the protagonist in Trese is that she's like a paranormal investigator, and I think episode three made it like it made that kind of genre work really well
Mhm.
on that
Exactly.
episode, and I wish every episode is like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that's the strongest episode for me, in my opinion.
Oh man. What about you, Raphan?
Yeah, I was about to say more stuff,
Oh
but
yeah, go.
no,
Go.
because this is about the dubbing, dude. This is about dubbing. So I feel like we
Oh
could
yeah.
discuss this after Rafi's initial
Okay.
impressions, because we have to talk about the dubbing.
We have
Okay,
to talk about
no.
the dubbing.
I am right there with you with episode 3 being the strongest in that it had like the best focus. Like,
Mhm.
this time it's just going to be this one thing that happens. We're just going to kind of steep in this world and be spooked by it and kind of like um have the focus be on this one thing that happened. So that's great. I think the whole thing suffers from trying to cram so much in. I'm just gonna reinstate all your points. I think I'm right there with you. Because like I am right there with you. I super agree. Like on the ball. Those are the gripes that I find. Um, I wish they could have like focused on just one thing at a time and kind of steepen it and have the kind of mystique of that certain thing like just set in, and we can live in that world for a
Like-
little bit because that
like
was
it
how the
wouldn't-
comics were.
Like I
One
wouldn't be
case-
mad
sorry.
if they wouldn't even like go on the regular 20-minute format. Like I would be okay if it's 15 minutes per episode if they're gonna do like a monster of the week. Like I would be okay
Mhm.
with that, you know.
Yeah.
Just
Like-
as long as you know they
Yeah.
have a very focused story per episode, that'd be
Mhm.
nice.
Like I really think like this story really needs like that time to steep, like Rafi said, because my
Yeah.
favorite moments of the series are those small moments where you see the characters just going about the motions of being in this supernatural Manila. And like this isn't much of a spoiler for Migoy, but one of my favorite sequences is just the police chief going to work. That is one of my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
sequences
I like that
That
one.
was really nice.
of him just getting ready to go to work, getting on the jeep, doing his thing, buying his pandesal in the morning.
Yeah, dude,
and-
grinding up on the
Dude,
Sari store.
It's
That's
so good.
So real.
It's so good. And so, like Migoy, since you've only watched one episode, what's your impression?
Yeah, let's go with that.
The animation thing, I've actually seen like not just Netflix shows, but yeah,
What?
even like more
Avatar.
mainline, say anime that has way more money put into it, like do the same type of budget cutting in certain scenes.
Okay.
And like you said, it gets better, so I'm looking forward to that. As for the things that happen, I'm just a little weirded out how everyone is so normal about there being just monsters everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, is
Specifically
that a
their,
thing?
like,
Is is it the type of world where that's the norm and monsters aren't hidden?
Actually, that's the first
Mm.
question that came up for me in episode 1 because there's
Mhm.
this fucking white lady on the ground,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
people are just crowded around this police barricade, and then Tressa goes up to she goes up to the police chief and she asks, uh, what's going on?
Who
And
the
then he
fuck
says,
would kill a ghost?
and he says no witnesses. And then I'm like, who are those right in the back? Those are all witnesses. What are you talking about?
I feel like
Witnesses of
those witnesses can't see the ghost. They're just there
think?
because, a Filipino
Ooh.
way of,
There's just the police
nakikipagpilo
circle.
lang kasi ang daming nakalagay
No,
dun
I
sa
like
TV.
that. Yeah.
You think?
Mga syosero lang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's a zero.
They're just
So,
fucking busybodies.
like, what's going on? What's going in
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
there
yeah,
like
I like
is
that.
there like a shooting?
Is there like a
Oh yeah. Fuck. Wait.
Right?
Side note on that shooting
I
thing.
like that.
There was like a bunch of people around my street before, and then I hear some guy says, "Oh, my shooting done," and I thought like, did somebody die? Shit.
Oh, okay.
And then like,
Oh,
my
actually,
artista,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, thank God.
Yeah. Dude, that
Oh.
happens a lot. Like you think they're doing their business, right? And then people just like
Yeah.
make it worse.
Busy
Because
bodies
crowd
without
around.
somebody is like, yeah.
Yeah.
rubbernecking. Yeah.
No,
I like
So-
that.
my
I like,
other
I like the justification.
right.
Yeah.
My other thing about that whole weird, because I don't know how the world of Tressa works, right? So
Yeah.
I was just confused with like how they didn't fully explain it at the start. It's when she saves the people, right, from the vampire Aswang peeps,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, oh, the evil guy who's running for mayor or whatever, I forget what he's running for, president.
Diamond
Not yet.
Phillips.
And he's like, oh, he came over and tried to buy our land. And then when we said no because we were waiting for a bigger deal, the fire started and the monsters, so we had to leave. And then they're just talking about, Aswang like it's a regular thing. Like, oh, I saw
Yeah.
them take all the people and eat them. And like his tone of voice seems a little normal for this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
And then I was chatting with my friends and like, oh my god, is the real villain capitalism? It's the condos, Trese. The condos. It's all about the
Oh,
condos.
The
That's actually
condos
good.
are the real enemy.
That's really
man.
good take.
That is really good.
And I'm
Fuck.
like, maybe they'll
Oh,
explain it. I won't say anything, but that's just a really weird, heavy swerve to like.
No, yeah,
Huh.
they never actually address it. Like
No.
normal people see spooky things and they don't
Mhm.
react
Yeah.
the way you think they would. You know what I
But-
mean?
But if you think about it,
That
like
is
that's
weird.
how we would think of, because we're expecting this is a production that's Western. But if you think about it, like what would you react? Like how would you react if you saw an aswang?
I'd fucking run away, dude. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Dude,
But if you
I
like
I just start punching
no,
out
like,
of reflex.
if you talk to people about if you talk to people about it, like it would sound like
I don't
how
know.
would it just sound like,
Oh.
I don't know.
actually
It's
don't
different. I think
know.
it's different
Like,
per person.
like you wouldn't. Yeah. Okay.
like
Now,
like
I was hysterical when I saw an open door in our corridor. Like, you think I wouldn't freak out when I saw fucking aswang all over the place? I would
Oh,
fucking
man.
lose it, dude.
Oh, so dude, like Migoy mentioned something about tone of voice, and I think that's where we can jump
Yeah,
into
to the
overall
dubbing.
of
Yeah.
this.
All right.
Because like I watched all three. Like
you.
Oh, nice.
no,
say
no.
this.
Like I'm not crazy. I didn't watch the whole series. Like one in English, one in Tagalog, one in Japanese. But what do you call it? I would watch the whole thing in English, and then I would scrub back to certain scenes, and then switch to Tagalog and switch to Japanese and switch to Spanish. And
Spanish, not
yeah,
Japanese. Okay.
it has a
Interesting.
Spanish dub as well.
It does.
So what did you guys think of the dubbing?
What about you, Miggy and Refi? Like, what main language did you watch?
I've only
yes.
seen it in English because that looks to be the original intent because the lip syncs
It
match
is.
the English voice.
Okay.
Right.
What
And
about you, Refi?
I've at least heard people complain about the accents being all around the place.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
my defense for that is that's kind of true because
True.
Filipinos
Our
have
accent is kind
yeah,
of all over the
like
place.
both like in our native languages, our dialects and English in general. The best description I've heard an American refer to our English is nondescript because most
Yeah.
people can't tell where our English is from because it varies per person. So they can't
I
quite pin
think
it down.
I think the best description I've seen of how the Filipino accent is actually portrayed in Trese in the English dub is that it is the Jokoy accent
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
got
that would be the
popularized, you know?
stereotypical one,
Yeah.
right? But that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
That
accurate
would be
to
the
everyone.
stereotypical one.
Right.
No,
Mm.
and it would come and go. Like in
There are
some
certain
lines,
characters who had that solid, like their accent is
solid.
just that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for some characters, it would fade in and out.
Right.
But what about you, Rafi? How did you watch this? Like in
I watched it
Tagalog,
according to the original vision
which
of
is
Show the tattoo. Show the super tattoo.
Treser.
Trese 13.
uh, no, I watched it according to the original vision, which is English. English was
Really?
the
Okay.
main form. The main form of the comic was in English
So-
with Tagalog phrases. That's how
yep.
it was first done, how it was
Mhm.
written, and then years down the line, they
Amazing.
translated it to Tagalog.
Wow, I
Mhm.
think I'm the only one who really watched it in Tagalog.
Holy shit!
Really?
Okay,
No,
I
because-
watched it. I watched it in Tagalog and then English dub
Yeah.
because I know Filipino dub like fucking sucks.
Dude, here's the
It's
thing.
way different. I'm
Okay.
not saying it sucks, but it is way different.
Okay.
No. Here's the thing.
then I-
I'm saying it sucks.
Okay, sure. All right, and I
Fair.
do like
Alright.
shifted to other languages on
Mhm.
some scenes because
Yeah.
like for example, there's the scene that I know this guy is voiced by this guy
Yeah.
on the English dub. I want to hear what he has to say, and then blow Blake Bortles, and then okay, let's go back to Filipino. And then there
Stuck it
are
in
also
there.
scenes where I see where hey, what would the Japanese say? Or what would the Japanese sound like when they're speaking in Filipino like phrases? And then that's where the
Exactly.
curiosity is. And then
Mhm.
I find out,
Mm.
they butchered it. So let's go back to Filipino.
Ah, okay.
I I feel like the Filipino dub is okay.
Really?
I feel like the voice actress from Trese is actually fine. I'm not sure why people are like mad about
Yeah, I've been seeing those.
that actress being not being like top notch because one, correct me if I'm wrong, Rafi, Trese is just stale. Like she is just monotone, like a monotone Neo character that doesn't have he
Yeah.
doesn't like she doesn't have any expressions. Like she is emotionless.
She's stoic.
And
Her voice in the comic, was much different.
Oh really?
But the voice is what you give her in your mind.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but that's
You're right.
the thing.
You're right. Yeah.
She like Lisa Sobrano. The casting is
Mhm.
perfect because no matter how much she fucks up the voice acting, if it's monotone or stale, it's fine because
If
it's
it's-
Trese.
It fits her character.
If it's an emotionless character, it works.
Yeah, it works.
Mhm.
Like it's like Keanu Reeves. You cast Keanu Reeves in this dead eye, deadpan John
Mhm.
Wick. It works because that's his character. So I feel like that's actual
Okay.
good casting. And no, not good. Smart casting
All right.
from them.
That's a way to
Yeah,
put
dude,
it.
what do you call it?
Yeah,
I can totally get where you're
I
coming
agree, I
from
agree.
because my problem with the Filipino dub is actually super different.
Really? Okay.
Yes, my problem with the Filipino dub is not the casting or the performances or anything like that. I have two main complaints about the Filipino dub. Number one, the sound quality of the dubbing is so different.
Oh, no.
Sometimes
Yeah.
Liza feels
Really?
like she's talking into a tin can.
Oh
You know what I mean?
no.
Like there are
You
times
can
where the
feel-
room is different or
Yeah.
the treatment is different.
Oh
yeah, you
god.
can really feel
It's polar
that-
opposites on what the Western production sound
That's
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
like.
the sound quality on the voice lines in the Filipino are on a completely different level from the other dubs, which was bothering me. And number two, which is my bigger complaint actually, is that since this was originally written in English and then dubbed over in Filipino, it had to be translated. But the thing is, it wasn't translated. It was transliterated.
Oh
Oh,
no, that's
really?
the wrong
Like,
way.
That's what
Dude,
bugged about me. Yeah.
Dude, there are certain lines in there that are just direct translations from the English text into Filipino, which make no sense. As a sentence someone would say in Filipino. It wasn't localized, it wasn't translated, it was literally just transliterated.
okay.
That's
That-
hella
that's starting
ironic.
over.
What the fuck?
That was our home court. That was
Yeah,
our
right.
free throw na nga yun,
Yeah.
putang ina.
Layup na lang yun eh, putang ina.
Okay, I didn't notice that, to be honest.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
because
mhm.
I'm really bad at Filipino, to be honest. So,
I'm really
I
bad.
was-
at
Yeah,
Filipino,
yeah.
when I was like watching it, I was okay, sure. This sounds like Filipino, and then I do understand what they're getting at, but I still stuck with it, and I feel like I still stand by watching it the Filipino dub is more natural than actually watching it in English because I have problems with the English dub.
Oh,
Actually.
really? What are
Yeah.
your problem with English dub?
You've already mentioned it. It's that Filipino accent. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It. I mean, it's harmless. At least it's like like to be honest, like whenever there's a Chinese character dubbed in English, of course you would expect that they're gonna have that accent. That
Oh yeah,
accent,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But aside from that Filipino accent, like the generic or like the default accent that the US dubbing has given us is Mexican, and
No,
Like,
yeah.
I don't
It's
like
a
little
that one.
bit,
Why
yeah.
are we
No,
Latino?
why we don't
yeah.
sound like that. I
Like,
mean, like what
Donna
Mickey
and
said.
Donna and I absolutely noticed that, Migs. Like while we were watching it, people would slip in and out of the Filipino accent, and then we're like, are they just doing a Latino
Yeah.
accent?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Is that what's happening? Mhm.
LatAm. I don't know why we switched to to LatAm mode.
Very,
That's what they
very
think we
different.
sound like.
That is-
But that's the
Mhm.
thing. Like what Mickey said, our English is it's not defined as
Mhm.
just one. So that's actually good.
Mhm.
But it just bothers me that most of the accent were in Latin. I mean, like Latino style
Right.
Mhm.
accent, and
Latino accent.
and that's the thing that
Specifically
that
Captain Guerrero.
Filipino accent is 50-50 for me because sometimes I get that that would like that might sound like us on sometimes, but
Mhm.
Mhm.
that's something that came from Jokoy or
Yeah, it's
other
a Jokoy
like,
accent.
and
Mhm.
I don't like it.
What do you
I
call
think
it? Here's the interesting thing though. The English dub has better Filipino cursing.
Ooh.
cursing really.
Mhm.
Yes. During the
Yeah.
Filipino dub, did you hear anyone curse?
Yeah, episode
Did
one.
you hear
Tangina mo.
anyone? Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But in I rewatched it from the Filipino dub and the English dub. The English
Mhm.
dub mas malutong pa sila.
Really?
Magputang ina mo. Like
They got
in
crispier curse words.
crispier curse
Oh.
words. Mhm.
Yeah,
You
I'm okay
watched
with
That
that.
too. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's okay because for a foreigner watching this, our words sound mystical and stuff. So
Yeah.
like say when Trese starts speaking in Tagalog, it's very like stunted. I think to drive
is.
emphasis that like this is magic, right? And it's not
This
just
is a magic
Mhm.
spell.
yeah. Even if it's like to us because we understand the word, it comes off sounding weird. But to a foreign audience, I'd say like making it more stunted, more baroque is the way to drive it. Not like other language, right?
This is magic.
Yeah.
Also,
This is a word I must
about,
learn and swear at.
about swears and curses.
Yeah.
If you check out the Filipino subbing, they
Mhm.
butchered it. Like they kept it safe. They kept it safe.
Okay.
They didn't even write the words "putang ina mo" in the subs because they
But-
want it to be PG. I don't know
But
why.
you can
No,
hear
no,
it.
no.
But you can hear it.
You can really hear it.
Yeah, but
You can hear
doesn't
it in the Filipino dubbing.
particular like putang ina mo literally translate to like
son of a
son
bitch.
of a bitch? Yeah,
Or-
and that's what was in
Yeah,
the sub that
your
I
mother
saw.
is a
Or
whore.
your mother's a whore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, in the Filipino dub, it's like
Hmm.
darn it or
I-
some other curse. that's
Really?
really low.
Oh, the
Yeah,
English one
they,
has the
they butchered
no,
weird.
like son of a bitch in English in the
Yeah,
sub.
yeah.
Mhm.
I saw it in
Wow.
English too. Yeah.
Filipino dub butchered
Weird.
it. Like
Dang.
they made it safe. They made it too safe.
For the
Like, come on,
kids.
you're in, dude, you're in Netflix.
Wait a
You
minute.
can
Wait a
do
minute.
that.
Hell.
Exactly.
Why are they? Wait a minute. Why are they worried about saying "putang ina mo" when they're showing the guts of a man on
Yeah.
screen?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Dude.
And
there's
like
some
it's just the
dissonance there.
subs. It's just the subs, and like you still hear it.
You
they
still
don't bleep
hear it.
out.
Yeah. What the
Yeah, right?
What
It's
is
They
it?
were sublighting you. They were
Wow.
sublighting you.
Sublighting.
We didn't say that. We didn't say that.
Okay.
Oh man, dude, I have a lot of feelings about this, but in general, I am happy, happy, happy that it is
Mhm.
out there. And I think my biggest thing that I want out of this is that people get more familiarized with our mythology, because I think our mythology is super duper cool and it doesn't get enough play.
Not only mythology, but I guess the culture. At
Mhm.
least for the Western
Culture.
audience, they finally
Right.
get. Oh, this is how the Philippines looks like. They're
Mhm.
not in huts. They're not in barrios.
Yeah,
They have
man.
actual
So
cities.
They're not.
Right.
They're not riding wild
We have,
calabaw.
we have districts. We have
School.
supercars.
yeah, so that when I play online games with people and I say I'm from the Philippines, they don't ask how my hut is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll ask. Oh, they don't do
Dude, it was a
do
it was a hard day at the mud farm today.
do you
Where
know
we
any
farm
tikbalangs?
mud.
Do you know any
damn.
tikbalangs in Balete? Oh,
Oh,
I saw that.
Ah,
I saw
nice.
that. How's the MRT still broken?
Oh, dude.
Hey.
You know what I really enjoyed about like the first episode?
What?
Hmm.
It's when Trese jumps between realms, right? When investigating the MRT, and she goes like, "Why is the undead using the MRT?" And they just go like, "It's the most efficient way.
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
It's the fastest way to hell." Like, yo,
It's the fastest way to hell. The MRT.
Also,
Super accurate. Super
my
accurate.
favorite moment in episode 1 is also like the first few minutes where like Tress is narrating what the
Yep.
world is.
Mm-hmm.
They show snippets of skylines of the Philippines, and then there's one where they show De La Rosa, and now I
Oh my
jumped
God.
because
Yeah.
that's where school is near.
yeah, that's where me and
Okay.
Megs went to school. Like, oh god,
yeah.
that particular
This is
street.
going to be connected in Greenbelt, and I was like, oh god, I feel so proud.
Dude, you are
Yeah.
super duper right. Like one of the things Donna and I immediately latched onto was how accurate the backgrounds were and how much
Backgrounds are-
money was in the backgrounds. Because like the
Yep.
backgrounds are so detailed. Right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they're really
There's-
familiar.
They're super duper familiar. Like even if it was like a nondescript place, I felt like it was
Yeah,
Manila.
you've
You know what I
been
mean?
there at least once, right? That's what it
Mhm,
looks like.
mhm.
And I think that's what I loved about the whole thing is that for once, like in this specific series, for once, like the Filipino is the best way to experience the show. Being
Mhm.
Filipino is the best way to experience the show. You'll get all the references. You'll see some things that'll like make you pop that no one else in the whole entire world would be.
Right.
Will pop
And-
at.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, like I kept going to when we were discussing this, me and my wife were discussing this. I kept going to the fact of how oh shoot.
You can do it.
Can I no, I was gonna do a spoiler.
Go ahead.
It's just a spoiler about a character that exists.
Go for it.
Okay. So yeah, a spoiler about a character that exists. It's a Bagyon, which is like an electric spirit,
Mhm.
right? So, and when they visit this Bagyon, they have an establishing shot of the Meralco building.
Dude,
And-
when they showed the Meralco building, Donna and I were just like, really? It's just they
Yeah.
just live in the Meralco building.
That's
Yeah,
really
and-
close to home.
Dude,
Yeah.
Literally.
And like no one else aside from a Filipino
We'll
will
get
get
that.
that. Will
Right.
pop at that. To
That-
anyone else, that's just an establishing shot, whatever building.
Yeah.
But they don't know that that's the building where
That's
the-
the,
the
power
central-
company of our
that's the
country.
power company.
That's where my
It's-
money goes
I
to
love
pay my electric bills.
That's just a few blocks away from me.
yeah, dude.
yeah. Exactly. That's the type of thing that made me really kind of
Oh,
get the
Holy
feels
smokes!
of like being a series that's like for the Filipinos first. For the first time
super.
in
Right.
for the first time, how many forms of media can you say that, oh, the best way to experience this is to be a Filipino watching it, right? That's
Yeah.
very few and far between.
Niche.
And I
Very
love
Mhm.
that it does that so like unabashedly, unquestionably. Like they just show all different types of mythological creatures, and they don't really bog down the narrative in explaining them. Also, they just
Mhm.
Yeah.
count on like, okay, Filipinos will get this, or at least they'll have a general idea. If they're more curious,
Show don't.
they'll look it up. Yeah, in a way
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's very like show don't tell.
It's like
Oh,
in the Witch.
That's where
yeah.
I was marking
I
it.
fucking love that. And
Mm.
speaking of bagyons, what do you call it?
Mm.
Fun fact: one of the bagyons is voiced by Dante Basco
Yup,
himself.
yep.
And it's like
Oh,
when he pops up with the hair and everything, I'm like, yo, Rufio,
Rufio.
yo, Rufio,
Yeah.
yeah.
When I heard him say my father, I was like, whoa,
Dishonor.
it's Zuko.
It's
flashback.
just Zuko.
Immediately just Zuko.
Yeah, dude.
Dante. I was actually looking for Dante Basco in the series. I was
Mm.
almost disappointed until you mentioned that that's Dante. And now I have to watch that episode again.
There
Oh,
you go.
yeah,
In
watch it
English.
again, man.
You have to watch it in
In
English
English.
now.
Oh, man.
There's
Sick.
also our boy Jason from The Good Place is
Yep.
also
Yeah.
Manixi.
That's
Mhm.
what
Nick
I
snuck in that Bortles.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
Northern.
oh.
We
And
made
and
this.
fun fact,
Sorry.
like
Mm.
the like I won't spoil who it is or what it is, but the big bad is actually voiced by like it totally caught me off guard because Donna's the one who looked it up.
Mhm.
The big bad is voiced by Steve Bloom.
Oh shit. Okay,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
Spike
I'll check it
Spiegel,
out.
my man.
Let's go, Buck.
Does he do a Pinoy accent?
No,
Oh,
Ah,
no.
damn it.
He's just
No.
Steve Bloom. He's just Steve
He's
Bloom.
just
very
he's just
him.
Spike Spiegel. Okay.
That's good.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's real good. It's really good, and he gets a lot of talking time. So, ooh, you
You'll
feel
hear the Steve Bloominess. Okay.
it.
Got
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
When I
It's
first
great.
when I first heard like Jason Mendoza on that episode, I was
he
like,
wasn't doing his Jason.
it wasn't his Jason, but yo, I recognize that voice. It sounds
Yeah.
like a drug dealer from Florida. Totally Jason
He sounded
Mendoza.
like he was explaining some sneaky shit to Tahani. That's his.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
voice that he
yeah.
used. He wasn't doing full blown Jason. We made this joke on stream the other day also of like I would have wanted him to just shout out Bortles, but not Bortles. Like a Filipino basketball superstar, like
You-
Alabog! And someone in the chat went Jaworski.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Local Filipino basketball people, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, I'm super happy how it came out. Like I'm super happy that they just showcased the Filipino culture like unabashedly. Because my big worry was when the anime was announced, I was worried that um they'd bog the narrative down with lots of like explanations as to what things are, and like the show doesn't get to be Trese anymore because it's like holding the hand of a foreign
Be a
audience.
CW show if that's
Mhm.
Yeah, but it
CW
didn't
Trese.
happen that way. It didn't really happen that way. And I like when I started watching it, I was like the first 3 episodes, they're just, I think they're doing it. They're just animating the comic, like because you know how it goes, right? When something that you love gets adapted, they're gonna be like concessions. They're gonna be like compromises
Can
here
be
and there.
creative differences. At
Mm.
least.
But when the first 3 episodes hit, like there wasn't much that bothered. Later on, though, I have some problems about it later on in the way that
Mhm.
it kind of um tries to string together continuity to it, but it just
Mhm.
doesn't work in that sense.
Like
It yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, Rafi, and it's really just the final episode, in my opinion, that has the problem.
Mm.
And I think it would be fixed by having a 12 episode series instead of a 6
Yeah.
episode series.
It's
Right?
too cramped up to
Mhm.
like
I agree.
have that that final up finish up like
Yeah.
that because
You hear us,
I got
Netflix? We want it
I got
longer.
more
We want it
questions.
longer and uncut.
Yeah, that's the thing, like I got more questions leaving the show on the final episode because there are name drops that, oh, who is this? I don't remember this guy or
Mhm.
this woman, and then suddenly they end it, which is sure.
Like at the very least, though, I'm
I'm happy.
like in general, I'm happy. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it's out there. I'm glad it's there for the world to consume and be exposed to our culture and mythology. And just as a heads up to Migoy as well, there is an after credit scene on the last episode, which is like, yo, maybe season two, maybe
Ooh.
season two.
I really hope they would do season two. Like it would be a sin not to do season two.
Dude, like I want that season two, fucking Battle in Binondo or something, dude.
Is there word about like its worldwide reception? Is it doing good outside of the country?
So far, I've actually been keeping a pretty close ear to the ground on that. Like ever since this released, I've been looking for number one, Filipino baiting on YouTube, and number two, I've been looking for legit reviews and reactions to Trese from a primarily American audience. And so far, it's just the smaller reaction channels picking it up. And like just seeing them like ask the questions of what is this? How come I've never heard of this? Where can I get my hands on the comic books? Is just making me happy in general.
Nice.
That's good. That's good.
I think the most hilarious like fucking review or reaction that I saw was this white girl who was just trying so hard not to offend anyone because she didn't know anything about Asia. She's like, oh, I really like her design. It's very Asian. Should I be saying that? Is that okay to say? I've never been to Asia. I want to go to Asia. Like, it was absolutely hilarious. But like, she was just like, I want to know more about this. Like, what is a tikbalang? What is a chana? Like, it was super cool.
I just want that big ass chocolate baby.
Dude, Chocolate needs to sell their
Yeah,
bars that
Chocolate
big,
needs to
man.
capitalize on the show. I
Chocolate
won't be
needs to
saying
evolve.
Chocolate actually responded to my tweet
Really?
saying we don't have that yet, but we have this, and they showed something like it's just like a container that looks like a large chocolate. But
But
dude,
no,
I
we
want
want
the
a
real.
big chocolate. We
I want
want
a
a
real.
big chocolate.
You should have responded with the Batista gift that's going like, "Give me what I want."
Dude,
You
dude,
still Pinoy yun, di ba? Oh, they will respond to that.
Pinoy pride.
dude. The fucking chocolate was so influential to me that when I went out to do my groceries a while ago, I bought some chocolate. So chocolate, get on it.
That's the thing that I forgot
Mm.
to buy a
Chocolate.
little bit. Yeah.
Oh man.
Mhm.
So Trese,
Yeah.